Imagine opening your calendar this coming Monday and seeing not chaos, but a clear path toward your biggest goals. What if that simple view could change your life? For reflection and review are the secret superpowers that transform ordinary planning into extraordinary results. Because without taking the time to step back and honestly examine your progress, your wins, your challenges, and your setbacks, you risk repeating mistakes, losing momentum, and allowing distractions and minor failures to dictate your life. And when you make reflection a consistent weekly habit, you not only gain clarity about what is working and what isn't, but you also cultivate self-awareness, discipline, and an adaptive mindset. And as you review each week, consider the outcomes you achieved versus those you didn't. Analyze why certain tasks were delayed or completed effortlessly, and identify the patterns in your energy, focus, and decision-making that either support or hinder your performance. And when you ask yourself questions like, what did I do exceptionally well this week? What obstacles challenged me and how did I respond? And what adjustments can I make to improve next week? You are essentially coaching yourself toward mastery, because the insights gained from reflection allow you to adjust your approach, optimize your schedule, refine your priorities, and align more closely with your most important goals. And this is not just about efficiency, it is about evolution, because every week becomes a laboratory for personal growth, every challenge an opportunity to strengthen resilience, and every success a building block for greater confidence and momentum. And when you integrate this reflective practice into your weekly planning, pairing it with intentional adjustments in time blocks, energy management, task prioritization, and mindset strategies, you create a dynamic system that evolves with you, adapts to your changing circumstances, and consistently moves you closer to your vision. And over time, the compounding effect is undeniable. The lessons learned, the tweaks implemented, and the habits reinforced week after week accumulate into profound personal transformation, because you are no longer drifting. You are steering, no longer reacting. You are designing, and no longer hoping for success. You are systematically creating it. And as you commit to this practice, reflection and review become a source of empowerment, clarity, and motivation, because you see the results of your focused action, celebrate your progress, correct your trajectory where necessary, and continuously elevate the quality of your decisions, your performance, and your life. And when you couple this with the principles of weekly planning, time blocking, and energy management, you are operating not just with intention, but with insight, awareness, and precision. And it is this combination of action, reflection, and adaptation that separates the average person who repeats the same patterns without growth from the extraordinary individual who learns, evolves, and achieves exponential results. Because every week is no longer a mere passage of time, it becomes a calculated, purpose-driven step toward mastery, fulfillment, and the life you were meant to create. And as you continue this cycle of planning, executing, reflecting, and adjusting, you reinforce your momentum, sharpen your focus, and cultivate the resilience necessary to overcome any obstacle, seize every opportunity, and ultimately design a life of unstoppable success, balance, and meaning, because reflection is the bridge between action and wisdom, between effort and excellence. And when practiced consistently, it turns your weekly plans into a living, breathing engine of achievement, empowerment, and personal transformation. And this is why high achievers, mentors, and visionaries insist that the secret to extraordinary results lies not only in doing, but in reflecting, reviewing, and adjusting, because it is through this intentional practice that you gain the clarity, insight, and strategic advantage to navigate life with confidence, purpose, and unstoppable momentum. When it comes to achieving extraordinary results, one of the most powerful strategies you can implement is the art of time blocking and energy management, because success is not determined solely by how many hours you work, but by how effectively you use the hours you have. And when you start treating your day as a series of intentional blocks of time dedicated to your highest priorities, you immediately shift from reactive chaos to proactive control. You begin to see that your energy is finite and that every task demands a portion of your mental, physical, and emotional reserves. And when you schedule your most important work, during the hours when you have peak energy, whether that is early morning, late morning, or whenever your personal rhythm is strongest. You tap into a level of focus, creativity, and productivity that no multitasking or hurried approach can ever provide. And this is why Tony Robbins and countless high achievers emphasize time blocking as a foundation for both performance and personal fulfillment, because when you assign a block of time to a task, a project, or even rest and recovery, you are not just organizing your day, you are sending a powerful signal to your brain that this moment is sacred, that this activity matters, and that you will give it your full attention. And the beauty of this approach is that it also helps manage energy, because when you know what you are going to do and when you are going to do it, you reduce decision fatigue, reduce stress, and preserve willpower for the things that truly matter. And as you combine time blocking with intentional energy management strategies, such as scheduling physical activity, breaks, proper nutrition, hydration, mindfulness practices, and even periods of creative flow, you create an ecosystem for performance that allows you to operate at your highest level consistently. And when you pair this with weekly planning, you begin each week knowing exactly which blocks of time are reserved for high impact outcomes, which blocks are for preparation, which are for learning and growth, which are for relationships, and which are for rest. And this level of intentionality transforms your days from a reactive scramble into a rhythm of purposeful action, because you are no longer responding to distractions or allowing energy draining tasks to hijack your focus. Instead, you are deliberately orchestrating your schedule to align with your goals, your values, and your natural energy patterns. And over time, this practice compounds, because when you honor your energy cycles and protect your most productive hours for the work that matters most, you achieve more in fewer hours, your stress diminishes, your confidence rises, your sense of control strengthens, and your results grow exponentially. And it is this combination of discipline, time blocking, intentional energy management, and alignment with purpose that separates the average person who is always busy but barely progressing from the extraordinary person who moves consistently toward their vision, week after week, month after month, and year after year. And when you commit to this approach, integrating it seamlessly into your weekly planning, you create a life where productivity, balance, and fulfillment coexist, where every hour serves a higher purpose, and where your energy becomes your most strategic asset, enabling you to accomplish what once seemed impossible, master your days, and ultimately design the life you desire with intention, focus, and unstoppable momentum. Have you ever felt that you are running endlessly, day after day, week after week, tirelessly checking off tasks, answering emails, responding to messages, going to meetings, and fulfilling obligations? Yet at the end of the week, when Friday evening arrives, you realize with frustration and even a hint of despair that despite all your effort, you have not moved significantly toward your most important goals, that you have been busy but not productive, that you have expended your energy and yet your dreams seem as far away as they were at the start. And the truth is that this is the reality for most people, because we live in a world that constantly bombards us with distractions, urgent demands, and endless interruptions. And without a clear roadmap, without intentional design of our time, without a plan that aligns our actions with our outcomes, we are left at the mercy of circumstances, reacting to whatever is thrown at us, drifting through life like a ship without a compass. And this is exactly why the secret to success lies not in working harder, not in being busier, but in mastering the art of weekly planning. Because when you take the time to intentionally map out your week, to clarify what outcomes you want, to define why those outcomes matter to you, to plan actionable steps, to prioritize the vital few over the trivial many, to block focused time for the tasks that truly move the needle, to build in reflection, recovery, and growth, you move from chaos to control, from busyness to productivity, from stress to confidence. And when you understand that each week is a building block toward your long-term vision, that every consistent action compounds into momentum, that habits formed intentionally over weeks and months lead to extraordinary results over years, you realize that weekly planning is not merely a technique, it is a lifestyle, a mindset, a discipline that separates those who achieve from those who merely exist. And when you start each week by identifying your top priorities, your key outcomes, your core purposes, and then design a schedule that aligns your actions with those purposes, you harness the incredible power of focus, clarity, and energy, and you eliminate the scattered, fragmented approach that so many people suffer from. And as you practice this consistently, week after week, month after month, you begin to notice subtle but powerful changes. Your energy increases, your confidence grows, your sense of control strengthens, your ability to handle unexpected challenges improves, your relationships benefit because you have space and attention for those you care about, your health improves because you can intentionally schedule rest, exercise, and nutrition, your personal development accelerates because you carve out time for learning and reflection, and most importantly, your goals, those that once seemed distant or overwhelming, start to move from the realm of imagination into reality. Because planning your week creates alignment between your intentions and your actions, and alignment is the secret engine of success. And when you understand this, you begin to see that life is not about being busy. It is about being productive in ways that are meaningful. It is about designing each day and each week in service of your higher purpose. And the beauty of weekly planning is that it is flexible yet structured. It allows for spontaneity while ensuring that the important gets done. It reduces anxiety because you no longer wonder what to do next. And it transforms your mindset because you start to think in terms of outcomes, results, and contribution rather than mere activity. And when you incorporate the Tony Robbins rapid planning method principles, asking yourself what you want, why you want it, and how you will achieve it, you elevate the planning process from a mundane exercise into a powerful framework for achievement. You create clarity that drives motivation, and you design a week where every hour counts, every action is purposeful, and every outcome matters. And as you reflect at the end of the week, celebrate your wins, learn from challenges, and adjust your approach, you strengthen your resilience, reinforce your habits, and compound your momentum. And with every passing week, your capacity for excellence grows, your ability to achieve your goals expands, your influence increases, and your life begins to reflect your true potential. And this is the secret that Tony Robbins and countless other high achievers emphasize. Success is not an accident. It is the product of intentional, focus-aligned action. And the foundation of that action is weekly planning. Because by taking control of your time, by prioritizing what matters, by scheduling your life around your highest outcomes, and by committing to consistent reflection and refinement, you transform ordinary weeks into extraordinary progress, ordinary days into powerful steps, and ordinary people into extraordinary achievers. And this, my friends, is the reason why mastering the art of planning your week is not just a productivity hack. It is a life-transforming principle that, when applied consistently, systematically, and passionately, can create the extraordinary life you have always envisioned, the life where your dreams are no longer distant ideas, but living, breathing realities that you actively shape and create with every intentional decision, every scheduled block, every prioritized task, and every reflective moment. And as you embrace this process, you begin to understand that the power to change your life, to create your destiny, and to achieve your highest potential lies not in luck, not in talent, not in circumstances, but in your ability to plan your week with purpose, clarity, and unwavering focus, and to act on that plan consistently, relentlessly, and joyfully, knowing that each week is a new opportunity to move closer to your goals, to elevate your life and to step fully into your power, your purpose, and your potential. And the sooner you commit to this practice, the sooner you will experience the freedom, fulfillment, and success that comes from designing your life intentionally. Because when you plan your week, you do not merely survive. You thrive, you grow, you achieve, and you become the architect of your destiny, the master of your time, and the author of your own extraordinary story.